Hey CSA, welcome to week 6. We've got some exciting new stuff for you. One of which I'm standing in, that is this guy here. This is going to be on the menu this week, and it's called Leeks. This is in the same family as garlic and onions. And we're going to take it over to the table, and I'm going to show you how to cut it, and we're also going to do a preparation with some of the other stuff you all are getting this week. So we'll go do that. All right, so this is your leek. This is what it's going to look like more or less when it arrives to you. It will be more like this. We cut these off. You can put these in soups and stocks, and you can actually wrap herbs inside of them and put them in soups. But it's kind of massive, and you're already getting a pretty big basket. So we'll keep those. And basically, you can use almost all of this all the way up to about right there. Just when it starts to get dark is when it gets, right when those leaves start to come on, is when it gets a little bit much to use. So we'll cut off that, and there's a little bit of root there, so we'll cut that off too. But the rest of it is pretty well usable. I'm gonna shave this thin for what I'm gonna show you, but you can do a lot with this. You can use it anywhere you'd use onions. And I'm actually, yeah, we'll leave it like that. You can use it anywhere you'd use onions. Just saute it in some butter. It gets really sweet. It's really lovely. The leeks are, like I said, they're part of the allium family. So yeah, what I'm going to show you today, let's get some vegetables prepared. You're getting carrots, so we'll throw that in there. And I'm just going to grate it. Sometimes, I mean, you could do a nice julienne, which is essentially this, you know, cut in half, maybe into a few. Just a julienne looks essentially like a little better than that, but that's it, just like little strips. But for our purposes, we're just gonna grate it really quick. You can grate this. And yeah, I mean, make a little bit of a mess, but that'll be good. And then you'll also be getting some squash. It probably won't be this big. This is kind of a more mature squash than we'll give you, but this is just one I thought would be good for the demo. You can also julienne that, or you can just do this. And these squash, yellow squash, since it's also going to be in your basket, is great for grilling, is great for sauteing. You can roast it, you can put it in soups. It's got a lot of uses. So we'll put all this stuff together for what we're going to do with it. And also, there's going to be a little bit more fennel, last week of that. So let's set these aside. Cut this little core out. Also shave the fennel. Don't need a ton of it for this. Shaved fennel salad with a little bit of lemon juice, that is always delicious. So put all this stuff together here. And you're also, I know you guys are going crazy, but you're also going to be getting this really nice lettuce. It's just such a good lettuce season, we can't stop giving it. And it's just the most amazing. This is called Bronze Arrowhead, and it's one of Hannah and my favorites. I made a lettuce soup with the fennel and the squash the other day. The recipe you can find actually over at Serious Eats. They do a lettuce zucchini recipe, and that is really, really tasty. I recommend adding a little bit more some sour cream or something, but it is really, really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little spring roll. This is super fun to do with kids. You can pick this up I found this at the Versailles Kroger. You can find it in any sort of maybe like international market. So yeah, you can do this. You could do it with nori. Also is another way you can do rolls, but essentially you start out with a cold bowl of water. You just lightly soak this. Just get it wet. You don't need it very wet. Helps if you have a slightly bigger bowl because it's pretty rigid, but just get it fairly wet. All right. We're going to take our mix of ingredients here. Spread it right down the bottom, or what would be the top in your photo, or in your view. Then we're going to take a little bit of basil, which you'll also be getting a little bit more of that this week. Blow away in the wind. Put that. I actually like putting it with the outside, with the less green part down, and you'll see why in a second. Throw a little bit of this. This is a great way to use some of these, especially, you know, with having kids around, because this is a good project for that. So then you just roll it. You can fold your sides in. I'm not going to do that with this. I'm just going to cut those off. But roll it like so. Cut your ends off. This one probably could have been a little wetter, but we can also add a little bit of moisture. There we go. So cut your ends off, and then you can either eat it like this, like a spring roll. You can take it, let's cut that off. You can take it and cut little hors d'oeuvres with it. So you can have these little rolls. And then what you can do is you can take like any sort of vinaigrette and mix it in with a little cream or sour cream and use that on top as just like a dip, and maybe even a little soy sauce. And it's a wonderful way to use this stuff up. You can also throw it in a frying pan and fry and make your classic fried spring roll. Yeah, and you can use anything. Like don't feel like you have to use any sort of traditional technique. You could throw bacon in there if you wanted to, but anything you want, and it's a super easy way to use up those ingredients. So have a great week 6, and we'll see you again next week.